beautiful Stafford, Virginia, the greens and fairways are just the beginning. Discover our scenic trails, paddle our rivers, and enjoy nature's grandeur. Your taste buds will thank you as you visit our award-winning breweries and wineries. In Stafford, the history, stories, and legends of America's past are waiting to be discovered. Whether you're chasing outdoor adventure, family fun, or a place to unwind, Stafford has it all. Just off I-95 and closer than you think. Plan your visit at tourstaffordva.com. Stafford, where your story starts.
Golfin' Around is sponsored by Tour Stafford, Virginia. Team USA versus Team Scotland Amateur Golf Championships. You could win a trip to St. Andrews, Scotland. Tourism Ireland. Squares Golf Shoes.
A new kind of golf shoe. The first real balance of lightweight comfort and proven performance. More stability, more comfort, more distance. The new LT series by Squares.
Hello and welcome back to the Golfin' Around Radio Hour. I am your host, Randy the Tank Tantlinger, the world's worst golfer, and I'm damn proud of it. I even got blue ribbon medals from the Kennel Association, Fred, that say world's worst golfer. It's pretty hard to get the Kennel Association to give you a golfing trophy, but darn it, I did it, Fred.
I can concur to that. I tried to help you, but you're just too dumb to listen, man.
I'm beyond help, my friend. Hey, we're joined by my good friend, my brother, Fred Altvader, with the Back Nine Report. Fred knows golf like you know your golf glove that you won't get rid of and go down to Dick's Sporting Goods and buy another one. Fred knows golf. Fred, where can people find that famous Back Nine Report?
Go to YouTube, Back Nine Report TV with the number 9, Back number 9 Report TV on YouTube. Plus, you can check in on American Golf Journal, Michigan Golf Journal, Ohio Golf Journal, Indiana Golf Journal, all like AmericanGolfJournal.com. Just you'll come in.
You're just journaling away.
Oh man, just writing and talking, and I talk way too much about golf, man.
Yeah, what better other than chocolate and eclairs? You know, Fred joined us last week as we previewed the Open Championship there, the U.S. Open at Shinnecock. And the first thing we talked about was, would it be a repeat of the Ryder Club? Would the ignorant people up there in New York come out, or would they respect the great game of golf that we love and respect the fact that it's a U.S. Open, not the Waste Management Phoenix drunk open sloppy golf festival? Fred, they did it again.
Yeah, that's a good analogy with the Waste Management getting drunk all day out there on the 16th and then hooting and hollering and throwing stuff. It wasn't quite that bad at the U.S. Open at Shinnecock, but it was pretty bad. I know everybody wanted to see Scotty Scheffler complete his career Grand Slam, and win the U.S. Open. And he was in contention. He was in the final group on Sunday, which was the problem because he was playing with Wyndham Clark, who people decided they did not like. And they were actively cheering when he missed greens or missed shots. It was really unprecedented. USGA did a really good deal, though. They really escorted a couple people off the property. They kicked them out, which the PGA was lax to do when the Ryder Cup was up at Bethpage Black. So, and I know, Randy, it's just a small percentage. You're talking about less than 2% of the golf fans that do this stuff. However, the actual cheering for Wyndham Clark when he missed greens or hit a bad shot, that was not good. That was unprecedented. And actively cheering for Scotty against Wyndham Clark, that was unfortunate. So he had to deal with all of that, especially on the back nine. He was trying to win. He made a couple bogeys there on the front, so his lead had shrunk. Sam Burns was making a run at him. Scotty never got things going. Rory never got things going. Justin Rose, Matty Fitzpatrick, they never quite got things going. But Sam Burns did make it interesting down the end. That's 2 years in a row he's done well at the U.S. Open. But Wyndham Clark, mentally tough. And as you know, Randy, the U.S. Open, more than any other championship, more than any other major, tests the mental toughness of the players. It tests the whole game, physically and mentally. And he had to stay tough because people couldn't hit greens. They were too hard. They were rolling off the edges, and you'd miss a shot. You'd be on a third of the way on the green and roll off. You'd be 20, 30 yards away from the hole. Just kind of ridiculous stuff, really. But the point is that Clark stayed mentally tough, gutted it out, and got his second U.S. Open win.
You know, Fred, I'm just going to sum this up. The genie is out of the bottle. The social ills that are affecting so many parts of society are now affecting the great game we love. And yeah, it's 1-2% of the golfers at a Ryder Cup, at a U.S. Open, at Wasteman, at any golf tournament now. And resoundingly this week, the other 90% of us, 95, you heard people finally saying, I can't stand it anymore. Knock it off. It's up to us other fans to police this. Some jerk does something at a tournament, then deal with it. Police it yourself. I'm tired of it, but you're not going to get rid of it. You're not going to get rid of it. The genie's out of the bottle, and it only takes the one jackass to ruin the party for everybody else. And that's just my feeling on it. I'm tired of it.
I never understood the need for some guys to insert themselves in the athletic competition, whether it's football, basketball, baseball. They feel like they have to say some stupid comment. Baseball, before the bullpens were moved out at the end of the kind of more protected out in the outfield, they were right along the sidelines out of bound, right? And the crowd, especially the visiting pitchers, they could hear all sorts of bad stuff from people that were in the stands. I just don't get it. I don't know why people feel like they have to put people down and do that. It inserts it in and makes a bad taste for everybody, Randy.
Yeah, and it's a social ill. All right. Hey, moving on. One of my favorite places in the world to golf is Alabama. Roll Tide. And I know what you're saying at home. You're like, Alabama. I thought the guy was going to talk about Scotland or Ireland like he always does. I thought he was going to talk about the Outer Banks. Fred, I don't even know if we should talk about how nice it is in Alabama, how wonderful the people are, how beautiful of a state it is. But this is the Golfing Around Radio Hour, and we got to be informative here. So, folks, we're going to tee it up. We're going to hit a long drive, and we're going to start all the way down at the tip of Alabama that has some of the very best beaches in America, Fred.
Yeah, it's, Gulf Shores is a really magical place. It's one of my favorite places also. Gulf Shores, Jekyll Island in Georgia, two of my favorite places to visit. Although Gulf Shores has grown up so much, it gets a little crowded there in the middle of the season. I kind of like to go on the shoulders, like maybe late March, early April, and maybe even like late October, early November are good times to go because the crowds have thinned out. Kids are back in school, and so it's not quite as crowded. But I do love me some Gulf Shores in the boot of Alabama. I've been going down there for about 20 years, I guess. Been there multiple times, got to know the people down there. There's great golf there. The beaches are fantastic. The dining is to die for. If you want good seafood or even steaks, if you want them, but the seafood there is so good because you've got the Gulf of Mexico and the Mobile Bay right there. Everything is available, Randy.
I love it down there, folks. It's just wonderful. And years ago when I first went there, Fred, I was shocked that people still left their things on the beach overnight.
Yeah.
And they were undisturbed.
Yeah.
That should tell you how wonderful it is. But when you talk about the golf in the area of Gulf Shores, Alabama, let's start with Kiva Dunes, one of my favorite golf courses in all of America, Fred.
Really, really nice. Yeah, they did a great job on building out. There's a little bit of water, as you can imagine, in the low near the water like that. There's a little bit of water on the golf course, but it's laid out really well. for average golfers as well as low handicap golfers. It will fit either one. The green complexes are very good. And the lodging there right along the 18th hole and the restaurant and the clubhouse, really a class operation for a public facility like that.
Yeah, it's tremendous. It's absolutely tremendous. Fred, walk us through some of the other golf courses in Gulf Shores, Alabama, and right up along the famous Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail that runs through Alabama.
Well, staying with Gulf Shores, Randy, you've got Craft Farms, which has 2 Arnold Palmer designed courses that really put Gulf Shores on the map as a golf destination. I got a real quick story for you. Was having dinner with the mayor of Gulf Shores.
Forgive me. I'm sorry. Pardon me.
Robert Kraft Jr., and he told this great story. So his dad, Robert Kraft Sr., had originally had a flower farm outside of Fort Myers, Florida. And he saw what was happening around Orlando with the growth and the increased, the agriculture was going away because of all the people moving in. And he saw that happening to Fort Myers as well. And so he sold his acreage there in Fort Myers, was able to buy 4 acres to the 1 acre that he sold over on the Gulf Shores coastline, and had a big farm there. He grew dahlias and real famous flowers that you need in weddings and things like that. And all the eastern seaboard, Chicago area, they all got their flowers from him, and he was very successful at it. And so when Junior was getting older, he went to Auburn, came back, and he had some ideas, and he said what he wanted to do. And Dad says, "Hey, I want you to take over this business. I want you to," and Robert Kraft Jr. said, "No, Dad," he said, "when people call, they want to talk to you. They don't want to talk to me." And he says, I want to start a sod farm." And Dad said, "Okay, well, there's some acreage over here on the side that we're not using. You can start a sod farm over there if you want to give it a try and see how it goes." And so he became very successful. Gulf Shores at the time was kind of a military retirement community. It was kind of a sleepy little community, wasn't much going on. And he decided, and then his business started growing, and he decided he needed more people to come in. And so he got a consultant and said, "How do I get more people down here to build houses so I can sell more sod?" And the guy said, "Well, you need more golf courses down here. You need people to come in and see the golf course, like the area, and then build a house, stay for a retirement property." So he started looking around, saw an article, and this was a time when Arnold Palmer was just beginning his golf course design business, and also was looking for any reason to fly his jet. So anyhow, long story short, Kraft Jr. went over, met with Arnold during the Bay Hill one year, and told him what he wanted, because Arnold was doing the whole thing. He was doing the design, he was doing the construction, and he was doing the financing. And that's exactly what Junior needed. He needed the whole turnkey package. And so Arnold finally said, "Okay, well, come take a look at it." And he picked a day, and they flew over. Kraft Jr. met him at the airport, had the media there, the whole deal, took him out. He borrowed some golf carts from the Gulf Shores Golf Club, had him out there, took him out. And as they were going out to the site where he proposed to build this golf course, Arnold was riding with Kraft Sr. Kraft Sr., when Junior was talking about this, he said, "Dad, you want to be involved?" He said, "Son, you go do that. You go ahead," because Senior didn't want to look like a dummy. He thought he would fall flat on his face. And he said he didn't want anything to do with it. But he had Arnold in the cart. They were going out. And Arnold said, "What's going on over there?" And they were stripping off sod with the machine. And so all of a sudden, Junior looks back, and there goes Arnold and his dad, made a left turn going over to the machine. And next thing you know, Arnold and his dad are on the wagon stacking sod. Instead of going out and looking at the thing, they became immediate friends, very, very good friends immediately. Anyhow, Arnold got back on track. They got him back to look at the property, went back out the airport. And as he's getting on the plane, Arnold shook Junior's hand and said, "We'll build your golf course." So they built one 18-hole golf course. It was very successful. And then they came in and did a second golf course for him. So there's 2 Arnold Palmer signature golf course there. And the area boomed. It actually boomed when guys came in and played the golf courses. They loved the area. They built houses, and the rest is history. And he's now the mayor. I'm not sure if he is today, but he was at the time the mayor there. And the Gulf Shores area is doing very, 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 very well. So enough about Kraft Farms. Also, Peninsula is a wonderful golf course. There's 27 holes there, 3 nines. And as I mentioned earlier, Gulf Shores Golf Club is actually my favorite course there. It's an older golf course. It was the oldest one there. It's a lot of fun to play. And then Rock Creek, which is just north of Gulf Shores a little bit, is a great place to go up and play as well. It's a nice public facility, not that expensive. And I should mention all the golf in Gulf Shores is very, very affordable. It's a great deal. So you want me to go and talk about the RTJ a little bit as well?
Yeah, absolutely. You're listening to the Golfing Around Radio Hour. I'm your host, Randy the Tank Tantlinger. My good brother, Fred Altvader, with the Back Nine Report. We're taking a little southern trip for some southern hospitality. Again, folks, look, we all know Myrtle Beach, and it's 120 golf courses. And maybe you go to Myrtle Beach every year with the boys. I'm telling you, you go down to Gulf Shores, Alabama, you go to Alabama one time, and you're gonna fall in love with it like I did and like Fred did with Back Nine Report. So we left the beach now. We're gonna head up a little bit north into Alabama now and talk about the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail. You know, Fred, if the memory serves correct, the whole golf trail was created because the Alabama Teachers Union needed to invest funds into a long-term investment. And that was the seed money and genesis of the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail.
Yeah, just a little bit of history. As you know, I'm a golf history buff. And so I've written this article several times. Matter of fact, it's been included in the Alabama Visitors book, magazine that they send out every year. David Bronner, who was the CEO of the Retirement Systems of Alabama, which is state employees, not just teachers. It's the state employees retirement system. He is a financial genius. They own properties. They own properties in downtown New York and Manhattan. They own properties in San Francisco. They own buildings, office buildings in Chicago. He has a long-term look at how to invest, and it's probably the most successful retirement system in the country. He has just done a wonderful job. So somebody came to him and said, "Hey, you know what the retirement system needs is a golf course. You know, we need a golf course here." And so he kind of poo-pooed it, and he went home and thought about it for about 4 months. And he came back to the guy and said, "Listen," he said, "what I really need, I need like 11 or 12 golf courses at 8 different places." And the guy just looked at him like, "Oh my goodness," because Bronner understood the economies of size in building these golf courses all at one time, using sharing labor and sharing equipment, and do it like a step-by-step process, the savings he could have on the construction. And so they put it out. They put the idea out for all the major designers at the time: Greg Norman, Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, Fazios. But nobody was really interested. They said he was crazy. He wanted it done in 18 months. He wanted all these things done in 18 months. 18 golf courses at 8 sites in 18 months. And they said, "You're nuts doing this," and can't do it. And so Robert Trent Jones, who was nearing retirement, wasn't that busy, and he came back and said, "I think I can get this done if you want me to do it." So they hired him to do it, and they now have 11 sites with over 26 courses. They bought Lakewood Shores, added on to that, and over 700,000 golfers visit these golf courses annually. Randy, it brings in $437 million of revenue just to the golf courses. Okay,
say that number again.
437 million. But the biggest thing is, in total revenue to the state of Alabama, it brings in over 1.5 billion. Okay, just from this. All right. And before they built the trail, before they built these golf courses, total tourism revenue for the state was $2 billion. Now it's over 24 billion annually for total tourism that comes into the state. Plus, companies like Mercedes and Airbus and a couple other large companies have built factories there because they came in and said, "Oh, this is really nice." Hyundai built a plant there. Well, our employees will like this. And so it really raised the perception of the state of Alabama for corporations, and it's just the economy has boomed since then.
Well, Fred, I've mentioned it several times, the Southern hospitality in all of Alabama. People still say please and thank you and yes, ma'am, and yes, sir. Basic courtesies. Again, people, the last time I was in Gulf Shores, left their things on the beach overnight and nobody bothered them. I'm a huge fan of Alabama. Fred, I don't know if I ever told you, I played left bench at the University of Pittsburgh, but I wanted to play for Bear Bryant. in the worst way. I was an Alabama fan back in the 70s because they were always on CBS, ABC, NBC, and sent my tapes down to Alabama in the Bear, and I got a letter back that said, "Sorry, we have no need for a slow fullback." Just joking. But I love Alabama very, very much. Fred, I'm thinking of locating down onto that panhandle in Florida or Alabama. So I see Alabama in my future a lot. Absolutely love it. But some of the marquee properties on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Course Trail, you got to start with Ross Bridges. I absolutely love Ross Bridges.
It's they kind of hold that out as their premier course. I'm not a big fan of it. It's so hilly for the average
Yeah,
golfer.
well, hey, I live in Western Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
I mean, that's hills are how Arnold Palmer learned to golf, baby.
I know it's really hilly, and it's for the average golfer. If you can't carry over tops of hills to get the roll, the golf course is extremely long. It is a true championship golf course, and there have been a lot of professional tournaments held there for years. A senior tour event was held there every year, and it's a really great golf course. It's in fantastic shape. But more importantly to me, there at Birmingham is the Oxmoor Valley. There's two courses there, plus a new short course, and the Renaissance Hotel that's right beside Ross Bridge Golf Course. And they're all right together. Like Oxmoor Valley is maybe like a mile or mile and a half away. So you can play all those courses, stay at the Renaissance, plus and then enjoy the new short course there in the backyard. And it makes a great, great little place to go right there, Randy.
Yeah, and again, it just doesn't end. This is why it's the world's greatest golf trail, the Grand National over in Auburn, Opelika. I absolutely love that too. We were talking about bringing one of our Team USA events down to them, and that's how much I love the area. Well, Fred Altvader with the Back Nine Report. We love having you on. Fred, you can come on every single week to the Golfing Around Radio Hour if you want. Love talking about golf. We took a little trip, folks, down to Alabama with Fred this week, talking about Gulf Shores and the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail. Fred, if people want to visit the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail and explore all those great golf courses, folks, you could start at the top of the state and head all the way down to the coast. Do you know their website? How do we find out information about the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail?
rtjgolf.com for packages, tee time, and lodging. And Randy, before you let me go, I want to just mention two more places that are
sure. And that's what I love about it. There's so much golf in Alabama.
Yeah. But I've been all over. I think there's only one place I haven't been on the stop of the 11 places. I think there's only one I haven't been. But my two favorites, Randy, are actually down in the southern part around the Mobile Bay. One is Lakewood around on the eastern side of Mobile Bay at Fairhope, just north of Gulf Shores, actually. So in your Gulf Shores, you could run up and play. But they have a Marriott Grand Hotel there that's outstanding as well. It's a lot filled with history. There was a site of the fort there that protected the bay during the Civil War and earlier on. And so it's really a great place. Besides that, my buddy Niall is there. And if you get down there, say hi to Niall Frazier. He was actually on the crew that helped build the RTJ golf courses when they built them. So he's got great stories. He knows all the history. He's a fantastic guy to talk to. He's a wonderful guy. And across the bay on Mobile, just west of Mobile, is Magnolia Grove.
Oh, yeah, 54 holes. All you want.
It's fantastic. There's two 18-hole golf courses there. The great par three is there. It's one of the best par threes I've ever played. It's fantastic. And then you can stay at the Renaissance Hotel in downtown Mobile, which is the history. It goes back to 1800 or something, 1803.
Hey, you and I are both parrot heads, and we know who was born in Mobile.
Well, actually, he was Pascagoula. He was right.
Pascagoula run, baby.
Yeah, Pascagoula. But that whole area.
I miss Jimmy Buffett every day.
Stuff. Absolutely, yeah, for sure. But I love those two places down there. You can stay in the Renaissance, play both places. So there's 4 golf courses and plus a great par 3. If you want to play the Gulf Shore stuff, there's other golf courses in the area. And that's just. We talked about Ross Bridge. We talked about these two. That's only 3 of the 11, folks, and they're all fantastic.
Well, Fred, Jimmy Buffett famously said, "I love afternoon golf and martinis, man." And I'm right there with him. All right, Fred, until next time, hit them crooked, hit them straight, shank them, hook them, whatever you want to do. Just go get on a golf course, Fred.
Thanks a lot, Randy. Look forward to talking to you again, buddy.
All right, folks, that was the Golfing Around Radio Hour. We took you to Scotland. We took you to England. We took you to Alabama. Are you not entertained? Hey, don't forget, July 18th, 19th in beautiful Stafford, Virginia. You could win a trip to St. Andrews, Scotland. You do not need a USGA handicap. Log on to www.usascotlandgolf.com, usascotlandgolf.com. $200 entry fee to win a trip to St. Andrews.